As the years pass, many people over the age of 60 start to notice little changes in how their hands work. Tasks that once felt effortless, like opening a jar of pickles, carrying groceries, or even turning the key in the front door, suddenly require extra effort. The grip feels weaker, less reliable, and sometimes even a little shaky. It can be frustrating, not only because it affects independence, but also because it serves as a reminder that the body doesn't always cooperate the way it used to. If you felt this change, you are not alone. Weak grip strength is one of the most common challenges for older adults, but the good news is this: it doesn't have to stay that way. Grip strength is more than just a measure of hand power. It's actually a window into overall health. Researchers often use grip strength as a marker for longevity, resilience, and functional independence. In fact, studies have found that people with stronger grip strength tend to live longer, have fewer hospitalizations, and maintain more independence in daily life compared to those with weaker grips. So, if your grip isn't what it used to be, paying attention to it isn't just about opening jars more easily, it's about protecting your whole body's health and maintaining quality of life. Why does grip strength decline with age? A few natural changes are at play. First, muscle mass decreases steadily after the age of 30, and the loss accelerates after 60. This process, called sarcopenia, means that the small muscles in your hands, wrists, and forearms gradually weaken. Second, tendons and joints become stiffer with age, which makes it harder for your hands to flex and close tightly. Third, circulation and nerve signals may not be as efficient as they once were, leading to slower responses and weaker contractions. All of these add up to the feeling of weaker hands. But here's the uplifting truth. While these changes are common, they are not irreversible. Muscles respond to exercise at any age. Even at 80 or 90, the human body can adapt, grow stronger, and improve function when given the right kind of movement. Think about it. If you train your arms and legs with light weights, they grow stronger over time. The same is true for your hands and grip. The only difference is that we don't always think of our hands as needing exercise until they remind us with stiffness or weakness. To see how important grip strength really is, let's picture two everyday scenarios. Imagine Mrs. Chan, age 72, who loves cooking for her grandchildren. She notices that holding a heavy pot of soup makes her fingers ache, and she worries about dropping it. One day, she even had to call her daughter to come over because she couldn't twist open the cap of her favorite sesame oil bottle. This small frustration made her feel less capable, even though she's otherwise healthy. Now imagine Mr. Sock, age 68, who enjoys gardening. He notices that pulling weeds or carrying watering cans leaves his hands sore and tired. Eventually, he starts asking his neighbor's son to help with the heavier tasks. While both of these people are strong in many ways, their weakening grip makes them feel dependent, and that can chip away at confidence. Now, here's the hopeful part. Both Mrs. Chan and Mr. Sock could rebuild their grip strength with simple, consistent exercises. Unlike complicated gym routines, grip-strengthening exercises don't require fancy equipment. A simple squeeze ball, a rolled-up towel, or even a bottle of water can become powerful tools for recovery and independence. And the best part is, these exercises can be done at home, while sitting comfortably, watching TV, or even chatting with friends. Why does this matter so much? Because grip strength isn't just about the hands, it supports the whole chain of movement. Stronger grip helps when you walk with a cane, when you steady yourself on a railing, when you carry shopping bags, or even when you want to enjoy hobbies like knitting, painting, or playing cards. It's a small thing that makes a big difference. In fact, improving grip can spark a ripple effect. Better hand use leads to more confidence, more activity, and better overall health. So, if you're over 60 and have noticed your grip fading, take heart. You're not powerless against this change. With a little patience, consistent practice, and the right exercises, your hands can regain strength and flexibility. Think of it as giving your body a second chance to support your independence and vitality. One of the most effective and simplest ways to begin rebuilding grip strength after the age of 60 is the squeeze exercise. You don't need expensive machines or special gym equipment to get started. All you need is something soft to squeeze, like a small stress ball, a rolled-up towel, or even a sponge from your kitchen sink. This easy movement trains the very muscles in your hands and forearms that control grip, and with regular practice, it can bring remarkable improvements. Here's how it works. Sit comfortably in a chair with your back supported. Take a small ball, sponge, or rolled towel in one hand. Wrap your fingers around it and squeeze gently, holding the squeeze for about 3 to 5 seconds before slowly releasing. Rest for a moment, then repeat the squeeze. Aim for 10 to 15 repetitions with one hand before switching to the other. That's it. Simple, safe, and surprisingly powerful. Now, at first glance, this exercise may look almost too easy, but don't underestimate its impact. Each time you squeeze, you are waking up and re-engaging the small muscles in your hand and forearm. These muscles are responsible for everyday tasks like gripping a cup, carrying a grocery bag, or holding onto a railing when climbing stairs. The more you practice, the more endurance and control those muscles regain. Just like watering a wilted plant, consistent care brings them back to life. Let's imagine a scenario. Mrs. Chan, who once struggled to open jars, starts doing this squeeze exercise 3 times a week. At first, her hands tire quickly, and she can barely manage 8 squeezes before feeling sore. But she keeps at it, resting on the days in between. After 2 weeks, she notices something surprising. She can hold her teacup with steadier hands, and the soreness is less pronounced. After a month, she tries opening that stubborn sesame oil bottle again, and this time, she does it without calling for help. That little victory brings a big smile because it's not just about the jar, it's about regaining independence. There's a scientific explanation for why this happens. Muscles strengthen when they are challenged. When you squeeze and release, tiny fibers in the muscles of your hand and forearm are gently stressed. In response, the body repairs and rebuilds them, making them slightly stronger each time. At the same time, the nerves that signal your muscles to contract become sharper and more efficient, improving coordination. Over time, these small changes add up to a significant improvement in strength, endurance, and confidence. Of course, consistency is the secret ingredient. Doing the squeeze exercise once won't make much difference, just like eating one healthy meal doesn't transform your body. But make it a habit, say 5 minutes every other day, and your grip will gradually grow stronger, steadier, and more reliable. The beauty of this exercise is that it fits easily into daily life. You can do it while watching TV, chatting with family, or even waiting for your morning coffee to brew. There's no pressure, no need for a gym, and no complicated instructions. Just you, your hands, and a soft object to squeeze. Some people might worry about overdoing it or hurting their joints. The key here is gentleness. You don't need to squeeze with all your might. Think of it as a firm handshake, steady but not crushing. Start with light squeezes and short holds, and gradually increase as your hands feel stronger. If you have arthritis or joint stiffness, the exercise can actually help improve flexibility by keeping the fingers and wrists moving, as long as you don't push into pain. And here's another encouraging fact. Studies have shown that grip-strengthening exercises not only help the hands, but also improve overall upper body function. Stronger hands mean you can better support your arms and shoulders during daily activities. This creates a positive cycle. Better grip leads to more activity, which leads to stronger muscles all around. Mr. Sock, our gardening enthusiast, found this to be true. After a month of doing the squeeze exercise with an old tennis ball, he noticed not only that pulling weeds became easier, but also that his arms felt less tired after carrying watering cans. He laughed, saying it was as if the strength had crept back in without asking. For him, the exercise wasn't just physical, it restored his joy in doing what he loved most. That's the beauty of starting with this simple squeeze. It doesn't demand much time or energy, but it gives back in confidence, ability, and independence. When you rediscover the power in your hands, you also rediscover the power to live life on your own terms. Once you've gotten comfortable with the simple squeeze, it's time to add another exercise that strengthens your grip in a slightly different way. If the squeeze builds raw strength, this second move builds endurance and control, the ability to hold on to things for longer without fatigue. It's called the finger extension exercise, and it works by training the opposite motion of squeezing, opening your hand against resistance. Why does this matter? Because grip strength isn't just about closing the hand, it's also about balance. Imagine a tug of war between the muscles that close your fingers and those that open them. If you only train one side, the other weakens, leading to stiffness and even joint discomfort. By practicing finger extensions, you strengthen the small muscles on the back of your hand and forearm, improving flexibility, reducing stiffness, and giving your grip more staying power. Here's how to do it. Find a rubber band, something simple like the kind you'd wrap around a bunch of vegetables. Place it around all 5 of your fingers, just above the nails. Start with your fingers together, then slowly spread them apart against the resistance of the band, stretching it outward. Hold for 2 to 3 seconds, then relax. Repeat this motion 10 to 12 times. You'll feel a gentle burn on the back of your hand and forearm, proof that those often neglected muscles are waking up. At first, this may feel awkward. Many people discover that spreading their fingers wide is harder than they expected, but that's exactly why the exercise is powerful. It challenges muscles that rarely get direct attention. Over time, you'll notice that your fingers open more easily. Your hand feels less stiff in the morning, and tasks like writing, holding utensils, or typing on a keyboard become smoother. Let's bring this to life with another story. Meet Dara, a 70-year-old retired teacher who loves doing crossword puzzles and reading thick novels. She noticed her fingers cramping after just 20 minutes of holding a book, and she worried she might have to give up her favorite pastime. Her granddaughter suggested she try the rubber band finger extension exercise. At first, Dara could barely manage 5 repetitions before her hands felt tired, but she stuck with it, doing the exercise 3 times a week while watching the evening news. After a few weeks, she noticed her hands felt looser and she could comfortably hold her book for longer. Now she smiles when she finishes a 300-page novel without once having to rest her hands. This is the beauty of finger extension training. It's not about building big, bulky muscles. It's about restoring fine control and reducing fatigue. Think of all the activities that depend on endurance in your hands: holding a steering wheel, gripping a walking stick, playing cards with friends, or carrying groceries from the market. These are simple joys that become frustrating when your hands tire too quickly. By giving attention to the muscles on the other side of the hand, you create harmony that makes daily life feel easier. Science supports this approach. Research has shown that balanced hand training, including both squeezing and extending, reduces stiffness in people with arthritis, improves finger dexterity, and even supports better circulation in the hands. This means fewer morning aches, smoother movements, and a lower risk of dropping objects. For seniors, that last point is crucial. A stronger, steadier grip reduces the risk of accidents, because when you can hold on to railings, canes, or handles more reliably, you're less likely to stumble or fall. And there's something wonderfully empowering about this exercise. It doesn't require fancy equipment, just a simple rubber band you can keep in your pocket. That means you can practice it anywhere, while waiting at the doctor's office, sitting on the porch, or even during a bus ride. It takes just a few minutes, but the benefits ripple out across your day. Consider this. Mr. Sock, our gardener, added the finger extension exercise to his routine after mastering the squeeze. He used a rubber band from a vegetable bundle. At first, he laughed at how such a tiny band could make his hands feel so tired. But after a month, he noticed not only less stiffness, but also that carrying buckets of water didn't tire his hands as quickly. The combination of squeezing and spreading gave his grip a new balance, turning chores back into enjoyable activities. The lesson here is simple. When you strengthen both sides of your hand, you don't just improve grip, you create resilience. You build the stamina to enjoy your hobbies, the strength to care for yourself, and the freedom to keep doing the things you love. So far, you've learned how to strengthen your grip with simple squeezing and balance it with finger extensions. These two exercises alone can do wonders for rebuilding strength and endurance. But to complete the set, let's add one more movement that not only challenges your grip, but also connects it to real-life activities. This third exercise is called the wrist curl, a gentle but powerful way to strengthen the forearm muscles that support your hands. Here's how to do it. Sit in a chair and place your forearm on your thigh or on a table, palm facing upward, with your wrist hanging just over the edge. Hold a light object. This could be a small dumbbell if you have one, but a water bottle or even a can of food works just as well. Slowly curl your wrist upward, lifting the weight toward your body. Hold the position for a moment, then lower it back down in a controlled way. Repeat 8 to 12 times, then switch to the other hand. For variety, you can also do this with your palm facing downward to strengthen the opposite side of the forearm. Why is this exercise so important? Because your grip doesn't act in isolation. It depends heavily on the strength of the forearm muscles that control the wrist. These muscles stabilize your hand, allowing you to hold objects steadily, lift them safely, and maintain control during tasks. Without strong forearms, even the best grip exercises won't fully translate into daily strength. Think of the wrist curl as the bridge between exercise and everyday life. To see how powerful this can be, let's meet Lena, a 66-year-old grandmother who adores baking bread. She noticed her dough-kneading sessions becoming shorter because her wrists felt sore and her hands grew tired quickly. At first, she thought she'd simply have to give up baking as often. But after learning the wrist curl, she added it to her weekly routine, using a half-liter water bottle. Within a few weeks, her wrists felt steadier and the soreness eased. One Saturday morning, she kneaded dough for nearly an hour and proudly pulled out a golden loaf of bread from her oven. She later told her daughter, "I thought I'd lost the strength to bake, but I just had to train my hands a little." This exercise also has a hidden benefit. It sharpens coordination. When you practice wrist curls, you're not only building strength but also retraining your brain to control small, precise movements. For seniors, this is essential because coordination tends to fade with age. By reconnecting your brain and muscles through deliberate, controlled exercises, you regain confidence in your ability to handle objects safely. That confidence makes a world of difference when you're carrying groceries, holding a cup of tea, or lifting your grandchild onto your lap. Now, imagine combining all three exercises, squeezes, finger extensions, and wrist curls, into a short, easy routine. In less than 10 minutes a day, you'd be training your hands from every angle, building power, balance, endurance, and stability. Over weeks and months, these small steps build into big results. You'll notice jars opening more easily, bags feeling lighter, and hobbies becoming enjoyable again. Most importantly, you'll notice a renewed sense of independence, the knowledge that your body still supports you, even after 60. And here's the most encouraging part. You don't need to be perfect or push yourself too hard. Improvement comes from consistency, not intensity. Think of this as planting seeds. With a little water and care each day, the seeds grow strong roots and sturdy branches. Your grip strength works the same way. Each squeeze, each stretch, and each curl sends a signal to your body. I'm still strong, I still need these muscles, and I still want to live fully. Your body responds by rebuilding and renewing itself no matter your age. So, if you've ever felt discouraged because your grip seemed weaker, take this message to heart. You are not powerless. With just a few minutes of daily exercise, you can bring strength back into your hands, restore confidence, and keep doing the things you love. Whether it's cooking, gardening, painting, or simply holding the hand of someone you cherish, strong hands are the key to living with independence and joy. As you finish this routine, remember, the goal isn't to have the strongest grip in the world. It's to have a grip that serves you, supports you, and gives you freedom. Each day you practice, you're reclaiming not just physical ability, but also the confidence to embrace life fully. So grab a ball, a rubber band, or a water bottle, and begin today. Your future self will thank you with every jar you open, every bag you carry, and every moment you hold on to life with steady, confident hands.